Yo, what's going on? Happy 2023, y'all. We back. New year.
Once again, it's on.
Y'all tuned into the greatest. You know what it is. The Big Skill Podcast. And our new digs. You see the jerseys in the background.
New year, new studio,
digs.
new surroundings, new
energy, new everything. Still the Big Skill Podcast. Y'all know what this is.
The notorious SKIP.
And it's big. Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year, man.
How was your New Year?
My New Year was good. You know, I just want to start off this with saying that shout out to Hamlin and his family.
Yeah.
Unfortunate tragedy.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't
an unfortunate near tragedy.
Near tragedy.
You know, and you know, you never want to see anything like that happen to anybody.
Yeah.
Much less of, you know, as much as how much I don't really care for Mahomes. I don't even want that to happen to him. You don't want that to happen. You don't want that to happen to nobody. See a professional athlete going out there trying to provide for their family and near die on national TV.
Exactly. It was just a real ugly scene. Typical football play. He tried to make a play on a receiver, got hit in the wrong part of his chest, and y'all saw what happened. You don't need to, describe the situation. Just special salute to the Bills medical staff for reacting so quickly and saving this man's life. Update for those of y'all that don't know, he's in the hospital. They say he's still in critical condition, but he's awake. He's talking. He's communicating. He's FaceTiming his teammates. He's tweeting out on Twitter. So it's great to know that he's going to pull through and he's going to be all right. May not play football again. He may. We don't know. But
I don't think he will. I don't want to speculate on anything. Yeah. But I just want to say we want to devote the beginning part of our new podcast, new scene, new everything, new energy with, speaking on that brother and speedy recovery.
And wishing him well, him and his family. It's real traumatizing event and something they'll remember for the rest of their life, something we'll all remember for the rest of our lives. But like I said, he pulled through. Looks like he's going to be okay. So salute DeMar Hamlin.
Also, new year, I want to shout out to Baby Wade, D-Mitch, one of the best two guards in the league. I've been saying it for the last few years.
So yeah, before we get into the NFL, because we got a lot to talk about with the NFL, let's get into what we saw from the NBA during our hiatus. Donovan Mitchell, 71 points, near triple-double. Led his team from, I think they were down by 20.
Man.
Close to it. Led them back to an overtime win. What's your takes on D. Mitch?
I've been a fan of his for a while. I think that he's on a better team with better surrounding parts. So we're gonna see, like he's in his prime right now. He's in the prime. He's in full splendor right now, and I feel like that he's putting the league and the rest of the NBA on notice. Like, I'm one of those guys. I think everybody talks about Tatum and Booker and this guy and that guy. I love them all. I don't have no. But I was ahead of the curve on D. Mitch and on Damian Lillard. Before everybody else jumped on the train, I was already on the train.
I was impressed, like I said, because 71 points is hard to do in itself. And then when you do 71 points, you get the rebounds, you get the assists, you get the rally, bringing your team back, going to overtime.
Get the win.
Now, people were getting technical. I saw that on the free throw that he missed and then got the rebound to score to tie the game, to send it to overtime. They were saying he crossed the line.
That's garbage because Luka did the same thing.
They're saying he crossed the line too soon. It should have been a violation. Bull should have got the ball, whatever. But you don't make those calls at the end of the game. You kind of like to let the players win the game, which is something I want to get into in a little bit about last night's game with the Lakers. But you want to let the players decide the game. So whether it was a violation or not, we're not going to get into that. I agree with them just letting the players decide the game. Donovan Mitchell did what he did, the game with the overtime, and he single-handedly took that game over in overtime. Because I think going to overtime, he only had, 50 – I think he had 53 or whatever it was. Something like that, 55. So
I just want to say off subject. We back again. It's a new year, new surrounding, new setting. Tell a friend, bring a friend, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. fuck with us. We're trying to really do it.
Definitely. Yeah.
And it's a lot of things going on in the NBA. We just want to touch on everything that's been going on while we was on our little break. Letting everything marinate so we can bring y'all the best, of everything. It's a lot. Russell Wilson looks like Russell Wilson again.
We're gonna get into all that. I want to talk about my squad, my Lakers.
Our squad.
We're gonna talk about the positive, and then we're gonna get into the controversy. The positives: 5 wins in a row. Technically tied for that 10th spot in the West. Only a game, 2 games? Only 2 games out of first place in the division.
So this is my question to you.
The Lakers are starting to make us have to take them serious again.
This is my question to you with that being said.
Okay.
Even
by the way, all this without Anthony Davis too.
Even if Anthony Davis was there, with the way LeBron is playing, and the way Dennis the Menace is playing, and the way Russ has accepted his role,
and you
where would we be in the West?
And you leaving somebody out too.
Where would we be?
You leaving somebody out that's been killing it since Anthony Davis been out. Shout out to Thomas Bryant.
Oh, hey.
My God.
He's been good, though.
He good on the Wizards. He's been nice, but now on the you playing for a team that's always on the national stage, the rest of the league is starting to see that this kid been real.
Right.
Been real. Where would we be if we was healthy and these guys was playing like this? Probably top 6 in the West. Because, like I said, maybe it's time to start taking these guys serious again. Now,
is it time to start taking Sacramento serious? With that being said,
I'll never take Sacramento serious. That's just my personal opinion. I'll never take them serious.
We talking about this season?
No, they still can't defend. Their own coach said it. They suck at defense. They foul too much. I'm still not taking this. They can score points, but when you go against the experienced guys in the league, they're in the West. So when you go against the Memphis of the world and the Golden States of the world and the Denvers of the world, New Orleans is better than them. Dallas is better than them. The Clippers, if they ever get their shit together, is better than them.
Speaking of which, it's like you read my mind, brother. What the hell happened in that game? What was that?
The Denver game?
Yeah. That was crazy, bro.
I don't know what happened, man. I know Bones Highland is now going to be a meme forever for when he made that shot and sit on the ground and look at the camera. So he's going to be a meme forever. But I don't know what's the deal with the Clippers. Their whole philosophy this year is let's just get to the playoffs healthy. Which
that's bad because you're not building no continuity still.
I was just about to say that. I agree with you want to get to the playoffs healthy, but you also need that chemistry. You need that continuity going into the playoff. The Clippers should know this better than anybody. Do I need to remind y'all the 2020 bubble again?
That was due to continuity, and that was due to Paul George doing a straight gag job.
I mean, you should be able to overcome that if you got continuity. Right. You should be able to overcome somebody. Well, let me not take that back because, we saw LeBron James do it and Miami couldn't overcome that. So I get it. I still think continuity and chemistry matters. So I just don't agree with how they're going about it, but I just don't. I mean, it's going to work because they'll get to the playoffs healthy. I just don't think they'll be able to know what is what and who's supposed to be where in those late game situations where people need to be where they need to be. That's where the continuity comes in at.
Right.
Getting back to my Lakers, I was thinking about something yesterday, and I was having a conversation with my chat yesterday. When Anthony Davis gets back and we get, Lonnie Walker back and Austin Reeves back and Troy Brown Jr. back, I personally think the starting lineup should be Schroeder. You should have Lonnie Walker or maybe Austin Reeves, whichever one. Probably more so Austin Reeves at the 2. LeBron at the 3. AD at the 4. And Thomas Bryant at the 5.
That'll be a good lineup.
I think that should be the starting lineup because
who's the big on the bench that's going to back up either Davis or Bryant?
We got Wing and Gabriel on the bench. We could stagger the minutes between Thomas Bryant and Anthony Davis. You know what I'm saying? It could work. It really could work. I think that should be the starting lineup because so far the one thing that I've seen from Darvin Ham that I don't like this year is when he has 3 or 4 of combination of Schroeder, Beverly, Nunn, and Westbrook on the court. You got 4 guys, 6'4" and under on the court. They not shooters. They can't guard wing players. That the Jason Tatums of the world, or the Kevin Durant's of the world, or Devin Booker's, and Donovan Mitchell torched us when we played them in Cleveland. So, like, why do you have these little guys on the floor asking them to guard the Jaylen Browns and all that when all these guys are going to torch us? When you can have Austin Reeves on the floor who can defend, Lonnie Walker on the floor who's going to give you extra effort, Troy Brown who's going to defend for you, LeBron who, when he wants to, will try and play defense, Anthony Davis who our defense is going to shit since he's been out.
Right.
So that alone says his worth on defense, protecting the rim. So I think there's things that we're seeing from the Lakers right now, from the role players, ever since LeBron said what he said after not the last Miami game, but the Miami game before that, about how he wants to win and all that other type stuff. And then speaking of LeBron, what he said some other stuff recently talking about the front office know what the fuck they need to do. And that was referring to upgrading the roster. We've had this conversation. Draft picks. The front office is not moving picks that for guys that are currently in the 9th grade and the 7th grade.
Not even just that. They're not going to mortgage the team any more than what it is. LeBron's not going to be max. LeBron is with us 3 more years. Max. That's max.
Okay.
So what are we going to have when he's gone?
Okay, so
an empty bag?
Okay, so why are you not trying to win now if you know you're going to have LeBron for 3 more years? You have LeBron here to win. You don't have LeBron here to be a mediocre team or below 500 team. That's not what the Lakers are.
I mean, nobody can predict the availability or health of Davis.
That's true, but Davis is not the only one injured. Even when we were 100% healthy, we weren't over 500. We haven't been over 500 all year. We're tied for 10th in the West.
And it could be worse. We could have mortgaged our future trading picks like Minnesota.
I mean, we did that.
You see how they are. I mean, they're not even in the top 8.
They're not. That's one of the teams we're tied for 10th
but
with.
Cat's
is Minnesota.
Cat is not playing, so
I mean, they wasn't good when Cat was playing. So again, that's one of the teams we're tied for 10th with. They did mortgage their future for. Listen, when you give up that many draft picks, you don't give up that many draft picks for Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert not good like that to be giving up all those draft picks that they gave up. It's one thing when you give up all those draft picks for Anthony Davis. It's one thing we give up all those draft picks for Paul George. You don't give up all those draft picks for Rudy Gobert. And their reasoning was he's going to improve the defense. Well, their defense hasn't improved. And here they are with a guy who was once considered the best player in the league to start a team around, a transcendent talent in Anthony Edwards, and a lot of people say this dude is the best defender in the league. I don't agree with it. And Rudy Gobert, D'Angelo Russell, who is still a locker room cancer apparently.
D'Lo could ball. I can't get into the locker room cancer.
No,
he could score. He could ball.
Yeah, he could ball, but
he's serviceable.
Yeah, he's serviceable, but he should be better than serviceable by now.
But the other night, he had been an all-star before. Huh? Gobert had 25, and Anthony Edwards had 5.
I'm just saying, Minnesota, they should.
If Anthony Edwards is a star, he should know he should score 5 points in 30 minutes.
I mean, people have bad games. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. But my thing is, Minnesota should be better than what they are with what they gave up to get Rudy Gobert. They shouldn't be where they are right now. Like, they're tied for 10th with us.
Man.
And who's the other team? Utah, who's come back down to earth. Like I said,
I knew they would.
Like I said, they would come back down to earth, and they have,
Will Brooklyn come back down to earth?
No. Brooklyn's good.
So are they? So my question to you is: are they dangerous because although he's not scoring a lot of points, Ben Simmons has turned the corner? Or are they just better because Kyrie and Durant is just that good?
They're better because Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant are just that good. They're just that good.
So you don't think that Ben Simmons is helping him on defense?
Yeah.
And you don't think Lil Curry is helping him on the outside?
I mean, they got healthy, so this is what they should be when they're healthy. They're a good team. They have a good roster. Like, this is
T.J. Warren is back now?
Yeah, T.J. Warren. That's what really is helping them go. Is T.J. Warren is back. So, I mean, this is what everybody expected from Brooklyn. Everybody expected them to be good. Like, a few people picked them to win a championship. A few being Stephen A. Smith. But this is Brooklyn. They're a good team. They should be up there, top 2, 3, 4 in the Eastern Conference.
I just want to give I just want to take a sip and give a moment of silence and an RIP to Blake Griffin's career.
Hey, he ring chasing now.
No,
he ring chasing now. So
I stopped giving y'all hip hop quotables, but is the poster child for you had a spark when you started, but now you're just
garbage. Went from top 10 to not mention at all because that's definitely Blake Griffin.
For real.
Another thing that I wanted to bring up, NBA related. So we talk about Anthony Davis, injury prone, can't stay healthy. We get on his head about that. A lot of people said he was, not playing up to his standards when he was healthy. All of that is facts. I'm not about to dispute that. What I am about to dispute is why we don't keep the same energy for others that are injury prone. Mr. Zion Williamson.
He is injury prone.
But why don't we keep that same energy for him?
All you need to do is fucking put the food down.
But I'm saying we don't keep the same energy for him though.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't get that because now he's out with a hamstring injury for at least 3 weeks.
That's bullshit.
They still miss.
No, that's bullshit. These niggas low, man. He ain't hurt, man.
What do you mean he not hurt?
This season don't mean nothing. Ain't nobody start playing.
I watched the game where he got hurt
for real.
Yeah, he got hurt for real.
All right.
He got hurt for real.
I thought they were just low, man.
No, not for 3 weeks.
All right.
But he got hurt for real. So why aren't we keeping the same energy for him? Because he's injury prone. He hasn't played the full season.
You're right.
He's the Pelicans' best player. So what are we doing? Let's keep the same energy. Zion, bro, you injury prone. What are you doing?
Hey, he's their best player, but they need Brandon Ingram.
They do need Brandon Ingram, but they also need Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson takes them from being a playoff team to being a team that could make some noise in the playoffs.
Actually, I'm going to have to correct you on that one, brother. Those two together make them a playoff team. C.J. McCollum make them something more.
Either way, they need all three of them, not just two of the three. They need all three of them if they plan on making some noise in the playoffs this year. Because only having two of them, they're not beating the other teams in the West, which is those two. Because if that was the case, they would have beat Phoenix last year, but they didn't. So they need all three of them. That's all I'm saying.
Now let's shift the gears to Luka Doncic. Before I ask my question, this is what I want to say. I think he's a very talented young man.
Very.
But I don't think he's going to win nothing. I think he's going to wind up breaking down or leaving Dallas because everybody wanted to make it seem like that Porzingis was washed up and he's done and he's over in Washington averaging 23 a game. Mm-hmm. No cap.
Mm-hmm.
So something,
I think my problem with Luka Doncic is that he's pretty much the European James Harden.
Yeah.
What do I mean?
Since we talking about
what do I mean?
Dallas Mavericks, RIP to Kemba Walker's career too.
Another injury-prone guy. Anyway, my issue with Luka is that the ball is in his hand for 60 minutes. What's the name again? 48 minutes. I'm thinking football. Sorry. For 48 minutes, the ball is in that man's hand. Dribble, 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 dribble. You ain't gonna win basketball. You're not gonna win the championship game playing that way.
What's the difference between Luka and LaMelo? Because he dribbles a lot too.
Melo ball don't dribble as much as Luka does. like player efficiency number, like PER, whatever it's called.
Player efficiency rating.
Yeah, player efficiency rating. Luka's is probably like number 1 in the league as far as how much the ball is in his hands.
The only other person that
Like,
the only other person to touch the ball on that team is Dinwiddie.
Pretty much. Like, he's literally every possession almost dribbling, step back three, or trying to get into the paint and do his little layups or whatever. And it's like, in the regular season, that's cool. Like, you can do that in the regular season. But come playoff time, where teams key in on you, you got to move the ball around and get other guys involved and get them getting a rhythm. Because if they get in a rhythm, then the defense is going to have to play honest. Then you can do what you do.
Basically, what he's saying is, in the playoffs, they're gonna play the boxing one.
Yeah, they're gonna box in one.
And they're gonna put a wall up and say, "Do it."
Yeah,
do it or die.
Yeah, they're gonna box in one Luka. They definitely gonna box in one him, because what he's doing is crazy. Like, that's a lot of energy you're using to get the job done, where you don't have to use all that energy. You know, that's all I'm saying. We halfway through the NBA season, so teams are what they are. There's no more filling out process. Teams are what they are.
They are what they are, but you know, it's always a dark horse or somebody to come popping up out of somewhere. It's always that one team every year. Whether, especially now with the play-in.
I don't see it this year. I don't see no dark. I don't see a dark horse this year. I don't see.
You don't see the Sacramento Kings dark horse sneaking in.
I mean, they'll get.
You don't see the Indiana Pacers dark horse sneaking in.
Yeah, but
I think the Indiana Pacers is going to come back to earth.
I think they are if they end up moving Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. Because another thing too, they said the contract talks stalled with Miles Turner, so I think they'll end up.
He's out of there, bro.
They'll end up moving him.
They're in a soft rebuild right now.
I really wish he ends up with the Lakers. He wants to be here. He wants to be here. Like, again, we're holding on to a 9th grader and a 7th grader. At best. That's if they do 1 year of college.
So should we try to go get Levine or DeRozan?
I don't want none of those guys, because none of those guys don't fix what we're struggling with. Those are one-on-one players. We don't need no more one-on-one players. We need guys who can defend and guys who can shoot. Buddy Hield is a rim protector. No, my bad. Miles Turner is a rim protector. Buddy Hield is number 1 in the league in three-pointers made.
I'm curious. Like, enlighten me. Why do you and Shannon Sharp keep talking about Buddy Hield?
Because he's number 1 in the league in three-pointers made. I just said that.
All right.
Number 1. And he would have been number 1 for I don't know how many years in a row if it wasn't for some light-skinned dude in San Francisco. That's how good of a shooter he is.
Are you putting him in Steph and Clay category?
That's how good of a shooter he is.
Oh wow! I need to go look at this guy, because I thought he was just another guy.
No, this guy knocks down threes. He's always finished number 2 or number 3 in the league in three-pointers, depending on if Klay Thompson is playing. Because if he's number 2, that means Steph is number 1.
All right, if you had the opportunity right now for the Lakers, out of Buddy Hield and Little Curry, who would you take?
Give me Buddy Hield.
All right, that's saying a lot.
Give me Buddy Hield.
That's saying a lot.
Give me Buddy Hield. Because Buddy Hield can stay on the court. Steph Curry seems to get injured a lot, so give me Buddy Hield.
Yeah, but Seth Curry plays defense.
Steph Curry does play defense, but Steph Curry's also little.
That's why I call him Little Curry.
Yeah, like we got enough little guys on the team. We don't need no more little guys. Like, we need guys that's 6'5" and over. But I'll take Buddy Hield because he can shoot. He can knock down threes. So, with that being said,
let's get to the real.
Let's get to the real. Let's get to the real. So, we're going to start in the AFC. All right. Halfway through today's games, the AFC field is set. So, let me run it down for y'all. Kansas City is number 1. They get a bye. By the way, Patrick Mahomes led the league in yards passing. Buffalo is number 2. Cincinnati is number 3. No coin flip needed between them and the Ravens because they beat the Ravens today. Jacksonville. Hey, shout out to the Jacksonville Jaguars. 4th. They are going to play the Chargers, no matter the outcome of today's game. Baltimore is 6th. They're going to play Cincinnati again. So 2 weeks in a row. Are they going to get Lamar Jackson back? We'll get into that. And the Miami Dolphins made the playoffs. They got the win. The Patriots lost. Didn't matter what the Steelers did. And because the Jaguars won, they got in. So Miami, they're going to play Buffalo next week. What did you think?
I think Buffalo is going to blow Miami out. And I just think it's just like every year. At least in the AFC, the first round matchups prove nothing because it's not really like everybody would be totally, absolutely surprised if the Dolphins won or if the Ravens, or if the Ravens beat Cincinnati. People will be, whether Lamar played or not, people will be absolutely surprised. So we know what they expect already.
Okay.
And then as far as the Bolts and the Jaguars is concerned, that's just a great game. That's gonna be a great game.
Two youngsters going at it. Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence.
I think that those two, along with Josh Allen and
Joe Burrow,
those are even if I was a Mahomes fan, he's been in the league 5-6 years. So he's got a head of start on those guys. So with even and this is to my point. I vowed, just like we got a new set and new everything going, I vowed to have new energy. I don't have anything to say about Mahomes. I've said what I've been saying for 5 years. I stand by it. But the difference between the rest of the young quarterbacks that came in the league, let's say you take a Herbert, you take a Burrow. Burrow may be a little bit different because he got receivers, but you take the young quarterbacks that I just named, Burrow, Allen, Lawrence, they all have great coaching around them, but they don't have the great skill players and the great coaching like when Mahomes came into. So in particular, Josh Allen, when he came in the league, he was a project. He became what he is today. And for Herbert and for these guys to come in without an Andy Reid, without a Kelsey, it's look at what Lawrence is doing. They may have Doug Peterson, who is a Super Bowl winning coach, but who do they have on offense?
I know we lied, but
it's all good. Hey, shout out to my nigga G Creasy once again.
Y'all know what the LA team is.
Once again, so it's just so. I feel like Drake right now with the NFL quarterbacks, the youth that we got going on. The baton can finally be passed from Rodgers and Manning and Brady. I feel like, oh, what a time to be alive. This is going to be a great game with Herbert and with Lawrence. I expect the Chargers to win, but if they don't, I wouldn't be surprised because Doug Peterson is coaching his ass off.
I think it go either way. I think it go either way, Chargers, Jaguars.
And that's to further double down on my point that coaching matters. Doug Peterson is from Andy Reid's coaching tree. He won a Super Bowl. Matters. So when you have a great coach who's an offensive-minded coach and who's a quarterback whisperer, you get a Mahomes, you get a Lawrence. You know what I mean? It's. I have no room to speak negative against nobody. What I do is I speak. What I do is I speak facts.
But yet you do it.
So the facts may come off harsh. The facts may come off unorthodox.
It come off like that because it's not facts.
Or different.
It come off like that because it's not facts.
Okay.
But Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes.
Or number 15 has the stats and credentials that he has because for the same reason as I've been saying to you gentlemen, when someone is born into wealth or a glamorous, luxurious situation like a Kardashian, her father was a lawyer. She was, or I'm not even saying it whether it was Patrick Mahomes or whoever. Let's take Michael Jordan. I know this is a basketball situation, but Michael Jordan didn't win anything until he got Scottie Pippen. And Scottie Pippen won more games one season without Michael Jordan than Michael Jordan ever did on his own solo.
Yeah, how far did Scottie Pippen get? Conference finals?
You're missing the point of me even. You're trying to kill my point, and the point what I'm trying to make is that collectively, the Kansas City Chiefs organization, with the sum of the parts that they had, past and present, have culminated in Patrick Mahomes becoming a State Farm commercial guy and getting all the acclaim and the fame. But
Wrong.
with that being said,
Wrong.
As soon as the media knows
Wrong.
you, as soon as the media props you up, they will turn on you. See Michael Vick and so many other people in the media that the media loves on, and then when something goes wrong or you start playing not as good as you used to.
So the media turned on Michael Vick. Wait, no. The media turned on Michael Vick?
I'm just using it as
That had nothing to do with him fighting dogs, right?
You're missing the point. They turned on him.
Why?
I feel you.
It had nothing to do with him fighting dogs?
It did.
Okay, then.
You're disputing my point of when I say the media turn on you just as soon as they prop you up.
Michael Vick brought that on himself.
All right, maybe he was a bad example.
Maybe he was a bad example. Terrible example.
The media will turn on you like that.
They will. I never said they won't. But don't make it just seem like, oh, the media just woke up one morning and be like, ugh. All right, so today we don't like Michael Vick anymore, so let's turn on him. No, that man did something to make the media turn on him.
Now I got a perfect example to prove my point of what Patrick Mahomes could become, or another great quarterback could become. Mm-hmm. Kurt Warner was on top of the world. He got injured, lost his spot to Mark Bulger. Mm-hmm. They traded him to the Giants. Mm-hmm. Then he lost his spot to Eli. Mm-hmm. And it took him to come full circle and go over with Bolden to Arizona mm-hmm. to revive and redeem his career. The media turned on him.
Because he fell off. And so, but what did he do? He came back and said, all right, let me remind y'all what I
put up the numbers that he's putting up because of the coaching and the playmakers around him, or he gets injured, he's not able to play the way he's been playing. What will everybody say about him then?
They're going to say injuries killed his career. Like they do with all the other people that's going this way, and then they get injured, and then they go doing that.
Like they doing about my boy Russ?
Just saying.
Speaking of Russ, did you see that boy? Even though they lost, maybe the coaching has something to do with it.
I've been saying the coaching was bad in Denver. I've been saying that. Nathaniel, whatever his name, Hackett, wasn't the answer. And everybody said that, oh, it wasn't a coaching problem, it was a Russell Wilson problem. And I almost believed that, Acho. I almost believed you until the players came to his defense and said, nah, brother, that's not what's going on here. And that brought me back to, no, it was coaching all this time. Russell Wilson's not done. He's not finished.
Done.
He's
and
not
all
finished.
Those people that were speaking out against him in the Seattle locker room, there's nothing wrong with being a studious black man, a well-spoken black man, an articulate black man, someone that's not colloquial or doesn't speak in urban jargon. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with the Braxton P. Hartnett Briggs of the world. This man is biracial. So maybe he doesn't identify with some of the things that me or my co-host or my nigga G Greasy or some of the people like Beast Mode or other people in the locker room might have been into.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
So you can't, if he's not from that, or if he's not a drinker, or if he's not from the hood, he's not going to be wanting to go get a beer with the guys. He's going to want to go do his thing the other way. So that shouldn't have no dictation on whether you like him or not, or people feel like he's fake. Like, I feel like that he is, outside of Rodgers, Brady, and Manning, I feel like he's been one of the best quarterbacks of the last 10 years.
He has.
Period.
He has.
Period.
He has.
And it ain't even about skin complexion. I'm just saying, like, he has a Super Bowl. He should have been higher in some of the MVP talks in some of these years. He done a whole lot with, who was his, like, really, like, the best receiver he's had the whole time on Seattle was DK Metcalf.
Tyler Lockett.
Tyler Lockett and them other guys was okay to me.
Tyler Lockett was nice. So, getting back to the AFC playoff picture, and before I finish, shout out to Mike Tomlin. 16 years as a Steelers coach, has never had a losing record. It sucks that they didn't make the playoff because Miami won today, but Pittsburgh still finished 9-8. Mike Tomlin, you're that guy.
And that's why you will have that job until you would decide to retire.
He's the Greg Popovich of the NFL. He's going to be the Steelers coach forever. I said that I had Cincinnati coming out in the AFC. I don't feel as confident about that pick anymore, but I'm standing by it. I got Cincinnati going back to the Super Bowl. Even with Buffalo, they got something to play for now because they got extra motivation. Kansas City got the number 1 seed. But I think Cincinnati could go into both those places and win.
I think they could too.
They're going to beat Baltimore next week, whether Lamar Jackson returns or not. They're going to beat Baltimore next week. Yeah, I said it.
I feel like that what people don't realize or give credence enough to, and I'm a real watcher and a student of the game just like you, Joe Mixon does a lot for the Bengals that doesn't get covered.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? They actually have a running game. They have a viable young quarterback, and they have 2 great young receivers.
They do. They really do.
I don't know what was going on with them earlier in the season, but
probably a Super Bowl hangover. That's all. But they got their stuff together. They didn't really deal with injuries like that this year. They finished 12-4. They won their division. Like I said earlier, they beat the Ravens today, so no coin flip will be needed when the Ravens and Bengals play next week. They said that there will be not a coin flip, a neutral site if the Bills and the Chiefs make it to the AFC Championship game because the Bills and Bengals didn't get to finish their game, which I'm okay with that. I'm sure both those teams are okay with that. They understand the circumstances. We all understand the circumstances. And it is what it is. It's going to be a good AFC playoffs. It's going to be a good AFC playoff, but I'm standing by my Cincinnati pick for now. Until they get eliminated, then I'll change my pick. But for now, still got Cincinnati coming out the AFC.
Let's get into the NFC, man.
NFC. Before we get into that, we're doing this in the middle of some games here. Halftime. My guys are up 21-13 over Arizona. That game don't mean nothing. Philly's winning 16-0, so they probably about to get the number 1 seed in the NFC. His guys are losing 13-6.
Stop it, Dak. Dak, like crack. Stop being whack.
And an important score. The Rams are beating the Seahawks 13-6. Why is that score important? I'm going to tell y'all why that score is important. Because if the Rams end up winning that game, Seattle's eliminated. They're eliminated. That means that game tonight between Detroit and Green Bay means the winner goes to the playoffs. Period.
I thought that's what it was already.
No. Detroit, for them to get in, they needed Seattle to lose today, and they need to win. Green Bay just needed to win. Seattle needed a win and the Packers lost. So if the Seattle Seahawks, this score is it's right. It's halftime right now.
Hey, Rafi Rams. I'm calling out names on the World Wide Web. Your team better win.
No, they better not.
Your team better win. No, or I'm talking shit all summer 23.
Listen, right, Rafi, are you sure? Are you sure that you want your Packers to win? Are you sure? Because, like I said, Philly's winning, so Philly's gonna get that number 1 seed. If y'all win, guess who y'all play? Y'all don't beat us in the playoffs. Remember that. Y'all do not beat us in the playoffs. What happened last year? What happened in 2019? Y'all don't beat us in the playoffs. Just saying. Y'all sure y'all want that again? You sure you want that again? Cause we'll be in Santa Clara waiting. That's all I'm saying. I'm just gonna make some predictions here. Philly's winning. They're gonna get the number 1 seed. First round bye. Well, we're gonna finish 2. Minnesota is gonna finish 3rd. Probably the matchup of the first round is going to be that 4-5 matchup in the NFC because his guys get to go to Tom Brady's house again.
We're going to send him home to the retirement home where he should have been 10 years ago.
Which means Minnesota will get New York at home, and then we'll get Green Bay, which will send them back to Green Bay. So, unless anything changes, that's going to be the matchups in the NFC. What you think?
I just want to see good games. I don't want to see no blowouts.
Mm-hmm. So,
I'm cautiously optimistic about my team.
So, you go to Tom Brady's house and win. Where you go next?
Where we going? Y'all house?
Y'all go to Lincoln Financial next.
But you know what? Bring the birds with their broken wings on.
No. In Philly, not Dallas.
I don't care. Bring them.
I'm just saying.
Hey,
I was just saying.
Hey, as long as Dak don't forget that our colors is white and blue and not green, then we all good.
You better be worried about that against Tampa.
I'm not worried about them. They're under 500 team.
By the way, yeah, this is the first time that Tom Brady has ever finished under 500. 8-9 is Tampa Bay's final record. Granted, they won their division, but at 8-9, like I don't know if I'm bragging about that.
I feel like that
Only team in the playoffs under 500, by the way.
Tom Brady on any given Sunday, just like A-Rod, I told you, Sunday night, hey, Rafi, the whole world's watching this evening, buddy. The whole world's watching. I know you out there on your submarine or somewhere in Jacksonville, somewhere in America. You might even be over in Abu Dhabi or somewhere. You know, you get around, bro. A-Rod, the whole world's watching.
Like I said, if y'all win, just know who waiting for y'all.
Nobody's worried.
We'll be ready.
Shady, Meek Mills, motherfucking Joe Embiid. Y'all can even dig up Randall. Y'all can even dig up Randall Cunningham and Mac 5.
Kevin
I don't
Hart.
give a fuck. Y'all better bring the 4-leaf clovers
Will
and
Smith.
your lucky pennies.
Beanie Siegel.
Bring them Cassidy. Bring them all.
Cass.
The Roots. Have them all.
Bill Cosby.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the birds do.
A Philly cheesesteak sandwich.
It doesn't matter. We're going to bring a Texas side steak.
I'm
We're
with
going to
him
bring a
with this
Texas
one,
side
'cause
ass whooping.
I'm not worried about Philly. And if they don't beat y'all got to deal with us. Y'all ain't seen the squad
Hey,
like
you know
us
what?
this year.
I'm not worried about nothing. We owe y'all payback for last year.
No.
We owe y'all payback for 94.
I don't mean y'all got to deal with us. I mean, if y'all don't beat Philly, they got to deal with us. That's what I mean.
Oh, they're going to get smacked.
They got to deal with us. Listen, I'll wait till we start getting on some people's heads. Before I'm gonna save that for somebody.
You feel to even mention the Minnesota Vikings, or they not even worth mentioning? Who? All right.
Who?
They said that about Dirk Nowitzki, and he finally won.
How long did it take him?
A long time.
All right then.
Hey, I
have no faith in the Minnesota Vikings.
It took, rest in peace. It took Bean Pillow talking with his wife and getting my nigga Pal in trouble when he playing like a bitch and Phil socking him in his chest for them to beat us. We was going for the 3-peat.
Oh, you talking about Dirk?
We would have beat Miami.
Are you talking about Dirk? Yeah. 2011. Listen, I'm not scared of Philly. I'm not worried about them, and I don't believe in the Vikings at all. They'll beat the Giants, even though the last time they played the Giants, they struggled with the Giants. So the Giants are going to be playing with house money. They ain't got nothing to lose. Those are the most dangerous teams you can see. It's teams that have nothing to lose. The New York Giants. Like, there's pressure on the Packers because of Aaron Rodgers. There's pressure on the Cowboys because they're the Cowboys. There's pressure on Tampa because of Tom Brady. There's pressure on Minnesota because of the season they've had. And Kirk Cousins ain't getting any younger. There's pressure on the 49ers because they got pretty much they're the most talented team in the league. It's about time for them to fucking get to the Super Bowl and win. There's pressure.
Besides the Buffalo Bills.
We got more talent than them. There's more pressure on the Philadelphia Eagles because, of course, they're the 1 seed. They've been the best team in football all year. So outside of New York, there's pressure on every team in the NFC that's going to be in the playoffs. Unless the Lions make it. If the Lions make it, they playing with house money. They ain't got nothing to lose. So those two teams they'll be, I don't see either one of those teams winning. Like, I don't see the Giants winning in the first round. If Detroit make it, they'll have to play us. I don't see them coming into our house beating us.
They'll make it a game.
I believe they'll make it.
You know what? Y'all got the defense to make it.
I believe they'll make it a game, but we know we're familiar with Jared Goff. So
yeah,
I'm not worried about him. Next year, the Lions are going to be a problem if they draft correctly and fix their defense. They're going to be a problem next year.
Speaking of nothing to lose, the Lions will be one of those teams like the Giants that don't have nothing to lose.
Yeah, they don't have nothing to lose. So that's why I said we'll have to really, if they end up winning and getting in and the Seahawks end up losing, it's not this ain't regular season. It can't be all right, it's just a line. Nah, we're going to have to come and really, play our A game. Come to playoffs, anything less than your A game ain't going to win. Unless the other team is playing that bad and you're matching how bad they're playing, then maybe you get away with some stuff. But at the end of the day, when you get to the playoffs, it's about bringing your A game. Just simple as that.
Bring your A game.
Bring your A game.
If you hurt,
play through it.
die tomorrow.
Play through it. Play through it. But I'm standing by my pick in the NFC. I got my guys going to the Super Bowl and winning it.
And that's a good pick.
I got my guys going to the Super Bowl and winning it. Let's talk about a non-playoff team here, since this is a conversation we was having. Let's show this team some needed love. The Las Vegas Raiders in that situation with Derek Carr.
All right. Before we even get in there, before we get into this is what I'm going to say. I shout out to Derek Carr.
Mm-hmm.
McDaniels is not a coach; he's a coordinator. Has been proven, and I'm at a loss for what's going on. I'm at a loss for Raider fans. I know Raider fans period vitriol and hatred toward Derek Carr when he carried the whole Raiders organization and fandom to the playoffs last year. He's been the only thing relevant about you guys for the last 9 years. But yet and still, like if you want to be mad at somebody, Raider fans, be mad at the fact that they fired Jack Del Rio, they got rid of Michael Crabtree and other players that had them trending upward.
Jack Del Rio?
Yeah, Jack Del Rio. They haven't been the same since Jack Del Rio left.
He was the coach
Jack
when they
Del
went
Rio
12.
was the coach before John Gruden.
Yeah, he was the coach that went 12-4 with. Okay.
Yeah,
Jack
so
Del Rio. All right.
it's been a nightmare on Christmas Eve ever since then for them. And I know the quarterback is the leader, and some games Derek Carr truly didn't play well, but he wasn't the reason. When you have a coach that comes in and he's not giving Josh Jacobs his touches, or
Josh Jacobs led the league in rushing.
no, follow me. Some games he wasn't getting touches.
Led the league in rushing.
I understand that. Some games he would go a whole half without touching the ball. Javante Adams would go a whole half without getting fucking a pass thrown.
I agree with that.
So
one,
that's why that nigga kept saying he's tired of the shit. You feel me? It had nothing to do with Derek Carr. It had something to do with the play calling.
Okay.
Underachieving. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't just throw it at, like,
I know
that's the reason why I agree with my guy G Greasy to an extent when he said that people that didn't play sports is not qualified to be able to speak on what a professional athlete is doing, because you have these people in the media who are so quick to slander Derek Carr and say that he's the reason why they're losing, and they just lost the last 2 games. They just lost the last 2 games.
You can speak on it.
I was just about to say that.
I said, don't discredit that they're a professional.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
Anybody can have an opinion.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like this nigga game style. I don't like how this person play. You can say that, but you can't say that
speak on
they weak.
Yeah, you can't.
That's all you can't say as a person, because to make it to professional sports, you can't be fucking weak. No. You weak. You not good compared to your competition.
I'm about to say, damn, bro, you got people that's at the end of the bench and don't see no PT.
No, but the thing is,
you don't never see them out there warm up.
All right, but guess what? They can beat any regular person up the street. You can't run faster than them. You can't do shit better than that person right there.
They weak compared, like you said, compared to their competition compared to their peers,
professional peers.
Their professional peers.
Yeah, for real.
But these are guys that's sitting on the end of the bench. That's running the 4.240.
They were their number one in high school.
Yeah,
they were top one of best.
Exactly.
They was the man in college. Because to make it to the pros, you have to be some type of the man at the college you went to.
Gotta be nice.
I got a prime example of what we talking about, right? Shane Battier was a man in high school and in college.
Right.
And when he got to the NBA, he was a guy.
There you go.
So was Kendrick Perkins. Kendrick Perkins was that dude.
I didn't know that.
Kendrick Perkins was that dude in Texas high school.
Okay.
He was that guy.
Yeah. He was Toby Bailey, Cameron Dollard.
All them. They got to the NBA.
They
got to the NBA and were just role players because there was just guys at their position that was better
David
than them.
Blumenthal.
You know what I'm saying?
Man. So that's
Sam
what
Clancy.
You can speak, you can say as an opinion, like you could be like, yeah, that man's playing garbage, not to his potential. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? That's some trash.
And we learned that because
he's folding under pressure.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Now all those things exist. You feel what I'm saying? For real.
And when it comes to basketball, we learned that because these same guys that we may say, all right, nigga, weak.
Right.
Let these niggas come to an open run at Drew League.
Right.
Oh man, they dropping 50.
When you ever see
Big Baby Davis?
Like I tell you, when you ever see anybody at the Rucker stop Kobe one time?
Never. Kobe went to the Rucker and murdered them. KD went to the Rucker and destroyed them dudes.
And Rayford Austin is the only person to make it to the NBA out of all them people.
Uh-huh.
And what was he in the NBA? Cool.
He was cool. He was decent.
Decent.
He was decent. He
Some
was
of them
starter
dudes in the G League got regular jobs.
No, I said.
No, I'm using this as they're professional basketball players.
I'm talking about street ball legends. I'm talking about
all right.
Street ball legends. The only street ball legend to make it to
how many
the
times?
NBA.
How many times did AO try to make it to the league? Aaron Owens and one street ball legend from Philly couldn't make it to the league.
Man, he made it to the big three.
I mean,
hey man, that's a league. But
that's a league. It ain't the NBA though.
You know what I'm saying? Because the players he playing with now, they are on a downgrade.
Exactly.
They ain't because all the people that's in the big three at their prime would be in no motherfucking big three. You know what I'm saying? For real. It was dogs, man. It was dogs, bro.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
shout out to my guy G Greasy. You know my guy's gonna be doing the Big Punch Out podcast. You know what I mean? Check that out on our content.
Yeah, the you know Punch Out King podcast.
Y'all hear
The Formula.
Y'all hear it.
You know what I'm saying? For
Y'all
real
hear it.
podcast.
We're doing all that.
Also, the Heads and Tails podcast.
Hey, exclusive motherfucking 7 days a week content. We're gonna have an anime motherfucking podcast. We're gonna have a video game podcast.
Yeah, man.
We're covering all the bases.
Everything coming.
New year, new everything.
New opportunities.
New space, you feel what I'm saying?
Everything.
Look at that set back there, man. That shit look kind of dope,
everything.
man. Hey, man, we did that shit right before the get down. Like, you know what I'm saying? For
That's
real.
it. That's
Come
it.
together, teamwork like Voltron, right, baby?
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? For real,
That's
though.
it.
Hell yeah.
Hey, let's start
It's morphin' time.
All right, time to get
Let's start
on their head.
getting on some heads. I'm gonna go first.
All right, get on their head.
Hey, Mr. LaShawn LaCoy, you said the 49ers ain't great, right? Who have they beaten? Because they really haven't beaten nobody, right? Let me run through something for you, Mr. LaShawn LaCoy.
Get on his head.
Let me run through some things here with you, and I'm doing this without my glasses on. All right, y'all beat Detroit, an overrated Minnesota team, Washington, Jacksonville, Arizona, Dallas.
Wait, pause on Jacksonville. They about to be in the playoffs.
They are in the playoffs.
So,
no. This is where I'm going with this. Arizona, Dallas, Pittsburgh, Houston, then lost to Washington, then struggled with Indiana, barely beat Green Bay. Y'all beat Tennessee because it was personal for A.J. Brown. Y'all mocked the Giants, even though the Giants are going to the playoffs. The game Jalen Hurts got hurt, y'all struggled to beat the Bears. Then y'all lost to
the Bears.
Then y'all lost to Dallas. They only scored 10 points against the Saints. 10 against the Saints team that ain't good offensively. Decent defensively, but they're not good offensively. And y'all beating the Giants right now, which is why y'all about to get the number 1 seed. Giants ain't got nothing to play for. So I'm looking at this list of teams that y'all beaten, and I see one good team on here that y'all beat. Minnesota. Oh, I'm sorry, 2. Dallas. Even though y'all beat a second-string quarterback. With
They
Dallas.
beat our second-string quarterback.
Yeah. So you say the 49ers aren't great, and who have they beaten? Who have y'all beaten? You play who's in front of you on the schedule, right? That's what you do, right? You can't control the schedule. You just play who's in front of you. By the way, the 49ers just scored another touchdown. They're up 28-13. We've beaten, let's see, we beat a Seattle team who was decent. Then we beat Arizona that's not good. We beat Carolina that's not good. Then we beat the Rams who weren't good this year. We beat the Chargers who were in the playoffs. And we beat Arizona again. We beat New Orleans, the same New Orleans that y'all lost to. We mopped up Miami. Mopped up Tampa Bay, really mopped up Tampa Bay. Beat Washington, the same Commanders y'all lost to. Did y'all lose to them? Yeah, y'all lost to them. Y'all beat them once, but y'all lost to them too. Just saying. And then we beat the Raiders, and now we beating Arizona. So my point in saying all that is you can't control who's in front of you. You just play the game and you beat who's on the schedule. But y'all haven't – it's not like y'all ran through a whole bunch of good teams. Y'all didn't run through the best. Y'all didn't run through y'all didn't play us this year. Y'all didn't run through Kansas City or Buffalo or Cincinnati or the Chargers. You know? The only reason why y'all played Dallas twice because they're in your division. You played Minnesota. Who else? So I'm gonna give y'all credit for being about to be 14-3. I'm gonna give y'all credit for finishing number 1 in the NFC.
And I'm gonna give y'all credit for having the real MVP.
I'm gonna give y'all credit for having Jalen Hurts because he could possibly be MVP. I'm gonna give y'all credit for all of that. All of that. But when you say we're not great, why are we about to be 13-4? We're not great. Because you know what great teams do? They win games. I'm going to tell you all the teams that's great this year. Shady McCoy. AFC. Kansas City was great this year. 14-3. Buffalo was great this year. 13-3. Cincinnati was great this year. 12-4. Let's go to the NFC. Philly was great this year. About to be 14-3. San Francisco was great this year. About to be 13-4. Minnesota was great this year. 13-4. Dallas was great this year. 12-5 or 13-4. Either way, they were great this year. Great teams win games. Don't matter who's in front of them. You win games. That's what you do. You win them on paper. You could lose to any game, any week. Any team, any week. Just like how y'all lost to New Orleans. Just like how y'all lost to Washington. Just like how we lost to Chicago and Denver and Atlanta. You play the games on paper. They'll make you not great. The 49ers are better than good. Number 1 defense in the league this year. Ever since we got Christian McCaffrey, the offense has been better. So don't diminish what San Francisco has done because you want to be a homer for Philadelphia.
A delusional homer.
A delusional homer at that, like he said. Let me tell you something, Shady McCoy. No one's scared of Philadelphia. No one. Out of teams that's going to the playoffs. Tampa Bay, not scared of Philly. Dallas is not scared of Philly. Minnesota might be scared of Philly. San Francisco, we damn sure ain't scared of y'all. So y'all better make sure y'all healthy when y'all come back in the divisional round against either Dallas or Tampa Bay, because that's who y'all staring at. Y'all may beat Tampa Bay. I don't know if Tampa Bay can go on the road and beat y'all. But do not, I'm gonna say this again, do not overlook the Cowboys if y'all gotta play them in the divisional round. That's not gonna be a walkover game.
Hey, the Crow Chris, I see the sweat trickling down your cheek. Your heartbeat sound like Sasquatch feet. That's fucking Philly and shady. You know what I mean? All that bravado, that's really fear in disguise. That's
really what it is. I agree with that 100%. 100%. I know how good we are, but I'm respecting these other teams that's coming in the playoff because it's the reason why it's in the playoffs. I know what I said about Green Bay earlier, but I'm going to respect Green Bay for the fact that they still got Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. We may have his number. That's still Aaron Rodgers. So I'm going to respect it. Go ahead.
I want to get on somebody's head.
Get on there.
This is going to be somebody who is going to throw both of y'all off guard, but it's grandly warning. It's a new year, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, a new year. Smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button.
Mm-hmm.
Share. Tell a friend. Bring a friend.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell is wrong with Antonio Brown? He went from being a lock Hall of Famer, the best receiver in the league, into
he got a nice crib.
Into I don't even know. Like,
no, I seen him on UTV cribs. He got a nice crib.
I don't even know. I don't know if this nigga's doing drugs. I don't know if he's doing prescription drugs. I don't know if he got a mental problem. I don't know if it's CTE. But man, it's like I see why the Steelers didn't want to give him the money. Like, I'm just like, bro, you are great. You are elite. But when you took it beyond T.O. doing sit-ups in the driveway, my nigga, you already ended on a bad, sour note, my nigga, running off the field with your shirt off.
Yeah, he did.
In the middle of a game.
Yeah, he did.
On national TV.
That's like the final image of you, Antonio
I'm just
Brown. You got to change that, bro. You got to change that.
Like, bro, you better invest wisely, stay out of trouble with the law, or you're going to wind up like Delonte West, bro.
I wouldn't go that far because I think he good when it come to his off the field stuff because, you know, he do music. I think he got his own record company or something like that. So he all right when it comes to that.
He just need to keep his behavioral problems to a minimum. Yeah. Stop putting his hands on people. Stop getting in trouble with the law. Like, I'm pulling for you. I wish you were still in the league. You still talented enough and young enough to where you could still and should still be out there with the rest of your peers.
I agree with that 100%.
Like, I wanted to believe in Julio, but the sun is set on Julio Jones.
Yeah, it's about over for him.
You know?
Unless he end up on the team where he could be a number one receiver again. But I think those days are done for him.
Done, bro. He can't stay healthy.
I think his time is his time is went. So, let's see. I want to get on somebody else's head.
Get on their head.
I already got on his head, but I'm just gonna keep this one short and simple. Let's see something real quick here before I get on this person's head, because I want to make sure I do this correctly here. I want to make sure I say this correctly. I might have to put my glasses on for this one. I think I might have to put my glasses on for this one. Matter of fact, I am gonna put my glasses on for this one.
And my greatest Booker T impersonation, Philly, we coming for you, nigga.
John Edward Bayless II, better known in the media industry as Skip Bayless.
Where you gonna start? You gonna start at Cold Pizza, or you gonna start it today?
I'm starting it today.
All right.
At some point, bro, your show is gonna come to an end because you have an ego that you don't know how to control. You said you put a tweet out when that situation with DeMar Hamlin happened that basically it was important for them to finish the game. Nobody was thinking about that at the time. Yes, it was a discussion that needed to be had, but that was
not the inappropriate
that was
time.
the wrong time to say that when this man was laying on the field fighting for his life. Quiet as kept. We said this in the beginning. This man died twice on the field. Shout out to the Bills medical staff for reviving that man. You shouldn't have put that tweet out. That's why Shannon Sharp didn't show up to work the next day, because he's tired of his shit. And then the day after, when he comes to work and Shannon Sharp gets ready to give his monologue, saying that whatever the bosses said there about the tweet, and you just interrupted him and said the bosses didn't say that, they didn't have a problem with the tweet. Nah, the bosses did have a problem with that.
That's what they called you, nigga. You said they called you.
Yeah, exactly. You contradicted yourself. They called you about it. You never apologized for the tweet. You cut off Shannon Sharp and didn't let him finish his monologue. You losing more and more respect from people every day. You've already lost all of my respect. Maybe you don't care. You don't know me. I don't know you. It is what it is. But you're losing a lot of respect. The show, I don't know how much longer Undisputed has, because we all see that Shannon Sharp is getting tired of your bullshit. And it's going to be hard for you to get somebody else that's going to want to sit across that seat from you unless they're willing to be your puppet and let you just say whatever you want and not clap back at you. Shannon Sharp ain't that dude. He ain't that. He not that dude.
He shouldn't come for Shannon Sharp ever. But why do you think that the lady that used to be on there as the moderator?
Because her and Skip Bayless got into it.
She got into him and went off and like, I can say whatever I want to say. I'm part of this show too. And also, he got into it with Shay Candidate, and he's got into it with Jamel Parker. He has a problem with women. He feel like the women should just be the moderator and don't add no input. He's been on the ego trip.
But I don't think that's cool though.
He's been on the ego trip.
Why have him on the show if you don't want him to give input?
Exactly.
So Skip Bayless, man,
he asked Shannon to be on the show.
Exactly.
Shannon didn't call him.
Yeah, exactly. You perfectly said. You asked him to be on the show. Shannon didn't ask you to be on the show. Now, granted, Shannon was grateful for being on the show because it took him from CBS. He's able to expand his horizons and talk about basketball, talk about baseball, talk about tennis, talk about golf, talk about all the sports instead of just talking about football on CBS. That being said, remember, Skip, you asked him to be on this show. Don't treat him like he's some kind of peon or some little dude that you can just run over.
He's not Stephen A. Smith. He was an actual professional athlete.
Fucking Shannon Sharp, man. You
200 yards in a game.
Listen, I don't get it, Skip, but something needs to change or your show gonna end. You need to learn how to respect people more than what you do. Cause that's not cool, man. Ain't nothing cool about that shit. Nothing.
He just only respects some people.
He need to respect all people.
Who we respect.
He need to respect all people. Cause that
Tom
shit.
Brady and all the other white men he loves.
Yeah, exactly.
He in love with. Put it that way.
I don't get it, man. I don't respect what that man's doing. with all that popping off and thinking he can't get touched up. Like, plenty of people have came out and said they've had to save people from touching up Skip Bayless.
Right.
Matt Barnes said it. You know what I'm saying?
You can't disrespect people.
You can't disrespect
Jalen Rose
You gotta have human compassion.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, fuck all this media shit.
Right.
We grown men.
Right.
You can't talk to another grown man like that and expect nothing to happen to you.
Right.
These is grown men.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
True.
that's all I got on him. Like that shit was real heartless. It was the wrong timing. What you said wasn't wrong when you said it was wrong. Because it was something that they had to discuss. What we gonna do about this game? How we gonna figure this shit out? The NFL came to the conclusion: if Buffalo and Kansas City finish top, they make it to the AFC Championship game, be at a neutral site. If Baltimore would have beat Cincinnati today, do a coin flip for the for whatever where they gonna play if they meet. I get all that. It's stuff that had to be discussed, just not while a man is laying on the field fighting for his life. Wrong timing. Absolutely wrong timing.
I want to get on Nick Wright's head.
Get on his head.
Now, I've been watching you for a while. Cowherd groomed you well, young man. And if it wasn't for Chris Carter and Colin Cowherd, there would be no Nick Wright. So, with that being said, it's like this. Stop overhyping LeBron. Stop saying he's better than Michael Jordan. Stop overhyping.
He gonna always hype LeBron James. That's not gonna stop.
Stop overhyping Patrick Mahomes. And I'm not even saying it because I'm not a fan of his. I'm saying it. You are a homer. You are the definition of a homer. I know you're from Kansas City. I know that's your team. But where was this energy with Joe Montana or Elvis Gerback or Steve Bono or Alex Smith?
Wait.
Or any other Kansas City quarterback. Where was this energy with Priest Holmes?
Time out.
Where was this energy? Where was this energy at any other point?
Hold on. Time out. We don't know what Nick Wright was doing then. It's kind of not fair. He's a Kansas City Chiefs fan. That's kind of not fair. It's just now that he's on TV talking about the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes is
when he was sitting across from Chris Carter kept him in his place, and the blasphemous, asinine, ass of 10 things that he says about Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs, and LeBron being better than Kobe Bryant and or Michael Jeffrey Jordan, he didn't say that bullcrap.
Yeah, he did. I remember.
And Chris Carter got on his head.
Yeah, Chris Carter got on his head, but those other Chris Broussard and Kevin Wild's not gonna get on his head.
Broussard tries.
Broussard tries. I need Broussard to shave that beard too. Don't look right on you. But he tries to get on his head. Sometimes.
Hey, and stop dyeing the edges. I see. your edges went from gray to red, bro.
Hey,
stop playing.
Hey, listen, y'all. Listen. The registration depot. You got the dealer paperwork you need done, registration renewals, transfer of ownership. You're dealing with out-of-state vehicles, VIN numbers, titles, plates, permits, lien sales, applications, you name it. The registration depot.
You want to stop riding dirty like a millionaire?
The registration depot.
LLC.
Hey, listen. Shout out to Leslie for what she's doing. You got any inquiries about that, contact her. 213-924-7912. Don't give her number out to people like that. This is her business. Y'all support that. All right?
We support all independent contractors and independent businessmen such as ourselves that's trying to make it in this media world. Once again, new year, new setting, new energy.
Everything.
Smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. I hate to sound like a drug dealer, but tell a friend, bring a friend, and bring a friend, and bring a friend.
Hey, shout out to
come again.
Shout out to the podcast we got coming up, like we said earlier, the Formula Music Podcast. Punch Out Kings podcast.
And more.
What else we got, G?
Heads or Tails, that's my podcast.
Heads or Tails podcast.
Yeah.
Exclusive content
TV.
On exclusive
that's
TV.
That's where everything is at. Exclusive TV.
A team. Like Voltron, bro. Everybody got a piece.
Smurfing time.
Exclusive TV is the
umbrella. There we go.
Exclusive TV is the umbrella. In the words of one of the greatest music execs.
I had to give my cousin Walter a shout out. Walter Jones, the Black Power Rangers.
In the words of one of the greatest music execs, if you're not under the umbrella, you're gonna get drenched.
Don't catch a brick.
Don't catch a brick.
I respect that.
They say motherfuckers made Skip and Joe. Okay, so make another Skip and Joe.
The Big Skill Podcast. We back next week with another one.
Signing
Shout out
off to yours, Nostradamus,
like,
aka
comment,
the Notorious
subscribe,
SKIP.
turn on those notifications. Happy 2023.
Once again, it's on.
Yeah.